What if I told you that a single 10-minute conversation could increase your income by $5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000 per year? And what if I told you that 70% of people who ask for a raise actually get one, but only 37% of workers have ever asked? Today, I'm going to give you the exact words, scripts, and strategies that have helped thousands of people successfully negotiate salary increases. We're not talking about generic advice here. I'm giving you word-for-word scripts for every scenario: annual reviews, job offers, promotions, and even those tricky lateral moves. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete toolkit for salary negotiation, including research strategies using Glassdoor and PayScale, scripts for different scenarios, timing strategies that actually work, and even how to negotiate benefits, remote work, and vacation time. Plus, I'll show you the biggest mistakes that kill negotiations before they even start. So grab a notebook because we're about to transform your earning potential forever. Before you walk into any negotiation, you need ammunition, and that ammunition is data. Think of salary negotiation like going to court. You wouldn't show up without evidence, would you? Let me walk you through the exact research process I use with my clients. First, we're hitting 3 major databases: Glassdoor, PayScale, and industry reports. But here's the key: you're not just looking at one number. You're building a salary range. On Glassdoor, search for your exact job title at companies similar to yours. Look at the location filters. Salary varies dramatically by city. Write down the 25th percentile, median, and 75th percentile. That's your range foundation. Next, head to PayScale. Their salary calculator is incredibly detailed. Input your years of experience, specific skills, and education level. PayScale often shows more granular data than Glassdoor, especially for specialized roles. Now here's the secret sauce most people miss: industry reports. Sites like Robert Half, Salary.com, and industry-specific associations publish annual salary guides. These are gold mines because they're often more current than crowdsourced data. But don't stop there. LinkedIn is your secret weapon. Look up people with your job title at companies you admire. Check their backgrounds. How do their qualifications compare to yours? This isn't stalking, it's strategic research. Finally, talk to your network. Reach out to former colleagues, mentors, or industry contacts. A simple message like, "I'm doing some market research for a career conversation. Do you have any insights on salary ranges for your role in our industry?" works wonders. Remember, you're not just researching your current role. If you're seeking a promotion, research that target position too. Knowledge is power, and in salary negotiation, it's literally money. Timing in salary negotiation is like timing in comedy. Get it wrong, and your whole performance falls flat. Let me share the 3 golden windows for salary conversations and the red flags that mean you should wait. First, the annual review cycle. This is negotiation season. Most companies set budgets for raises during this period, so the money is already allocated. Start preparing 3 months before your review. Document your achievements, gather your research, and schedule informal check-ins with your manager. Second, after major wins. Did you just close a big deal? Complete a challenging project? Receive excellent client feedback? Strike while the iron is hot. Your value is crystal clear in these moments. Third, during job offer negotiations. This is actually your strongest position because they've already decided they want you. The cost of replacing you is high, so they're motivated to make it work. Now, when not to negotiate, during company layoffs or budget cuts, you'll look tone-deaf. Right after you've made a significant mistake, your credibility is damaged. During your first 90 days, unless you're negotiating an initial offer, you haven't proven your value yet. Here's a pro tip: the best time to plant seeds for your next raise is right after you've received one. Thank your manager, then say, "I'm excited to continue growing my impact. What would you like to see from me over the next year to justify another conversation like this?" You're already setting expectations for your next increase. Let's get into the meat of this, the actual words you'll use. I'm going to give you a proven script for annual review salary negotiations. This isn't a rigid template, it's a framework you can adapt to your situation. Here's how the conversation flows. Opening: thank you for taking the time to discuss my performance and career growth. I've really valued your feedback throughout the year, and I'm excited about what we've accomplished together. Values summary: over the past year, I've contributed to specific project/metric, which resulted in quantifiable impact. I also took on additional responsibilities in area and improved specific process/outcome by percentage or amount. Market research introduction. As part of planning my continued growth here, I've done some market research on compensation for roles like mine. Based on my research using Glassdoor, PayScale, and industry reports, the market rate for someone with my experience and responsibilities is between $X and $Y. The ask, given my performance this year and the market data, I'd like to discuss adjusting my salary to $Z, which reflects both my contributions and the current market rate. Future commitment. I'm committed to continuing to grow my impact here, and I see this adjustment as an investment in our continued partnership. Now, here's the crucial part: pause and let them respond. Don't fill the silence. Silence is your friend in negotiations. If they say yes immediately, great. If they hesitate or push back, you have follow-up responses ready. If they mention budget constraints, I understand budget planning can be complex. What timeline would work better for implementing this adjustment? And in the meantime, are there other forms of compensation we could explore? If they question your market research, I'd be happy to share my research sources with you. I used multiple databases and looked specifically at our geographic area and industry. Would it be helpful if I put together a brief summary? Remember, confidence is key, but so is collaboration. You're not demanding, you're proposing a win-win solution. Job offer negotiations are different beasts. You have maximum leverage here because they want you, but you also need to be careful not to seem ungrateful or difficult. Here's your script. Express enthusiasm. I'm really excited about this opportunity and the chance to contribute to a specific company goal or project. Thank you for the offer. Acknowledge the offer. I've reviewed the offer details and I appreciate the comprehensive package you've put together. Present your research. Based on my research and conversations with industry contacts, I was expecting a salary range of $X to $Y for this role, given my experience with specific relevant skills/achievements. Make your counteroffer. Would there be flexibility to adjust the base salary to $Z? This would align with market rates and reflect the value I'm bringing to the role. Show flexibility. I'm open to discussing the overall compensation package if there are constraints on base salary. I value benefits/growth opportunities/other aspects as well. Here's a critical point: always negotiate over email or follow up in writing. Say something like, "Could you send me the details we discussed in writing so I can review everything carefully?" And remember the 24-hour rule. It's perfectly acceptable to say, "This is exciting news. Could I have until tomorrow to review everything and get back to you?" This gives you time to think clearly and craft your response. Never accept the first offer immediately, even if it's great. A simple, "This looks good. Let me review the details and get back to you by specific time," keeps the door open for negotiation while showing professionalism. Asking for a promotion is trickier because you're asking for both new responsibilities and more money. The key is to show you're already operating at the next level. Here's your approach. Set the stage. I'd like to discuss my career progression and the possibility of advancing to a specific role. I've been thinking about how I can increase my impact and take on more responsibility. Demonstrate readiness. Over the past time frame, I've already been taking on responsibilities that align with target role. For example, I've been specific examples of higher-level work. I've also developed skills in relevant areas through training/projects/experience. Present the business case. I believe I could make a significant impact in target role by specific contributions. Based on my research, this role typically comes with a salary range of $X to $Y, and I'm hoping we could discuss a package around $Z. Address timing. I'm wondering what the process would look like for making this transition and what timeline would work best for the team and the company. Show commitment. I'm excited about the possibility of growing my career here and taking on new challenges that help the company succeed. Here's the secret most people miss. Start acting like you're already in the role you want, months before you ask for it. Take on projects, show leadership, solve problems. When you finally have the conversation, your promotion becomes obvious rather than surprising. And if they can't promote you immediately, ask about a development plan. What specific goals or achievements would position me for this promotion in the next review cycle? Lateral moves are unique because you're not arguing for more responsibility. You're arguing for fair compensation in a different context. Maybe you're changing departments, locations, or taking on a role with different but equivalent responsibilities. Frame the conversation. I'm excited about the opportunity to move into new role/department. I wanted to discuss how this transition might affect my compensation. Acknowledge the lateral nature. I understand this is considered a lateral move, but I wanted to share some research I've done on market rates for this position. Present market data. In researching new role in our market, I found that the typical range is $X to $Y. Currently, my salary of $A falls below this range. Make your case. While I'm not asking for a promotion increase, I'd like to ensure my compensation aligns with market rates for this new position. Would there be flexibility to adjust to $Z? Show value. I'm bringing specific skills/experience that will help me contribute immediately in this new role, and I'm excited about the fresh perspective I can offer. The key with lateral moves is positioning it as market adjustment, not performance reward. You're not asking for more money because you're better. You're asking for fair market compensation for the new role. And remember, lateral moves often come with hidden benefits, new networks, different skills, varied experience. Sometimes the real value isn't in immediate salary increase but in long-term career growth. Let me save you from the mistakes I see over and over again. These are negotiation killers that will torpedo your chances before you even start. Mistake number 1, making it personal. Never say, I need more money because my rent went up or my colleague makes more than me. Your financial needs and internal pay disparities aren't compelling business arguments. Always focus on your value and market rates. Mistake number 2, threatening to quit. Ultimatums backfire spectacularly. If you say, give me a raise or I'll leave, be prepared for them to call your bluff. Instead, express your enthusiasm for staying while presenting your case. Mistake number 3, poor timing. Asking for a raise during budget cuts right after a company loss or when your manager is stressed about other issues shows poor judgment. Read the room. Mistake number 4, lack of specificity. I'd like more money is not a negotiation strategy. Have specific numbers, specific achievements, and specific market data. Vague requests get vague responses. Mistake number 5, not listening. If your manager explains budget constraints or company policies, acknowledge their position. Fighting against legitimate constraints makes you seem unreasonable. Mistake number 6, giving up too easily. If they say no to salary, that doesn't mean the conversation is over. Ask about timeline, ask about other benefits, ask what you need to do to get there. Mistake number 7, not getting it in writing. Verbal promises are worthless. Always follow up with email, thanks for our conversation. Just to confirm, we discussed details with implementation on date. The biggest mistake of all? Not asking. Remember that statistic from the beginning, 70% of people who ask get some form of increase. Your chances of getting a raise you don't ask for are exactly 0. Not every negotiation will end with champagne and confetti. Sometimes you'll hear no, and how you handle that rejection determines your future opportunities. Here's your playbook for turning no into not yet. Stay professional. I appreciate you taking the time to consider my request and for the honest feedback. Never show frustration or disappointment in the moment, even if you're feeling it. Ask for specifics. Could you help me understand what would need to change for us to revisit this conversation? This shows you're not giving up, just looking for a path forward. Explore alternatives. If salary adjustments aren't possible right now, are there other forms of compensation or benefits we could discuss? Sometimes they can't budge on salary but can offer flexible schedules, additional vacation, or professional development budgets. Set a timeline. When would be appropriate to revisit this conversation? This keeps the door open and shows you're thinking long-term. Document everything. Follow up with an email summarizing the conversation and any commitments made. This protects both of you and shows professionalism. Here's what rejection often really means: not in the current budget, not with your current performance level, or not right now. It's rarely never. Your job is to figure out which one it is and address it. Sometimes rejection is actually valuable feedback. Maybe you need to improve your performance, take on more responsibility, or wait for the right timing. Use it as data, not as a personal attack. And remember, asking for a raise and being told no doesn't hurt your career if you handle it professionally. Managers respect employees who advocate for themselves appropriately. What hurts your career is being passive and resentful. Here's where most people leave money on the table. They focus only on base salary and ignore the goldmine of other benefits. Let me show you how to negotiate everything from vacation time to professional development budgets. Remote work flexibility. I'd like to discuss the possibility of working remotely X days per week / full-time. I've proven I'm productive in this environment, and it would help me maintain better work-life balance while reducing commute costs. If they're hesitant about productivity, offer a trial period with clear metrics. Additional vacation time. Based on my tenure and performance, I'd like to discuss adding X additional vacation days to my package. I find that proper rest makes me more productive and creative when I'm here. Many companies find this easier to approve than salary increases. Professional development budget. I'd like to request a professional development budget of $X annually for conferences, courses, and certifications. This would help me stay current in my field and bring new ideas back to the team. This is often easier to approve because it's seen as an investment in your skills. Flexible schedule. I'd like to discuss adjusting my schedule to a specific arrangement. This would help me manage my personal commitments while maintaining full productivity. Be specific about how you'll ensure work doesn't suffer. Stock options or equity. For startups or growth companies, I'm interested in having more skin in the game through equity participation. Could we discuss stock options as part of my compensation package? Better job title. Sometimes a title change is easier than a salary increase but can help your career long-term. I'd like to discuss updating my title to better reflect my current responsibilities and help with my professional development. Technology allowance. Could we discuss a technology stipend for my home office setup? This would help me be more productive when working remotely. Here's the key. Present these as business benefits, not personal favors. Show how each request helps you be more productive, reduces company costs, or increases your value to the organization. And don't ask for everything at once. Pick the 2 to 3 most important items and present them strategically. You can always negotiate more in the future. Knowledge without practice is useless. Let's run through some scenarios so you're ready for anything. I want you to actually practice these out loud. Seriously, pause the video and say these words. Scenario 1, the budget pushback manager says, "I'd love to give you a raise, but budgets are really tight this year." Your response, "I understand budget constraints are real. What timeline would work better for implementing this adjustment? And are there other forms of compensation we could explore in the meantime, like additional vacation days or professional development opportunities?" Scenario 2, the performance question manager says, "I'm not sure your performance justifies this increase." Your response, "I'd appreciate specific feedback on what performance improvements would justify this adjustment. Could we set up a development plan with clear metrics and timelines? I'm committed to exceeding expectations." Scenario 3, the market rate challenge manager says, "I don't think the market rates you found are accurate for our company." Your response, "I'd be happy to share my research sources and methodology. I used Glassdoor, PayScale, and industry report focusing specifically on our geographic area and company size. Would it help if I put together a brief summary of my findings?" Scenario 4, the immediate no manager says, "That's just not possible." Your response, "I appreciate your honesty. Could you help me understand what would need to change for us to revisit this conversation? I'm committed to growing my value here and would love to know what path leads to this kind of adjustment." Practice exercise. Record yourself having these conversations. Yes, it feels awkward, but you'll notice filler words, nervous habits, and areas where you can sound more confident. Great negotiators practice just like great athletes. Body language reminders: sit up straight, make eye contact, keep your hands visible and relaxed, and speak slowly and clearly. Your nonverbal communication is just as important as your words. The goal isn't to memorize scripts word for word, it's to feel comfortable with the flow and key phrases so you can adapt in real time. Let's wrap this up with your action plan. You now have everything you need to successfully negotiate your next salary increase, but knowledge without action is worthless. Your next steps: first, do your research. Spend time on Glassdoor, PayScale, and industry reports this week. Build your salary range and document your findings. Second, document your achievements. Create a wins file where you track every success, project completion, and positive feedback. Update it monthly. Third, practice your scripts. Use a mirror, record yourself, or practice with a trusted friend. Confidence comes from preparation. Fourth, time it right. Look at your company calendar, your recent performance, and the business climate. Choose your moment strategically. Finally, take action. The perfect moment doesn't exist, but a well-prepared moment does. Remember, salary negotiation isn't about being pushy or demanding, it's about professional advocacy for your own value. You're not asking for charity, you're proposing a business transaction based on market rates and demonstrated value. If this video helped you, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I create content every week to help you advance your career and increase your income. Drop a comment and let me know what salary negotiation topics you'd like me to cover next. And here's my challenge to you: within the next 30 days, have a career conversation with your manager. It doesn't have to be a formal salary negotiation, but start planting seeds about your growth, your value, and your future. The biggest risk isn't asking and being told no, it's never asking at all. Your future self will thank you for taking action today. Now go negotiate like the professional you are.